died on a Thursday. There's 3 periods of day and night between Thursday and before daybreak on Sunday, because remember, he was in the tomb before 6 p.m. on Thursday. So there was still a day period for him to be there. Also, the double Sabbath created by the high Sabbath and the weekly ensured that his tomb remains undisturbed for 2 days. God designed the calendar on that year to ensure that no one would visit the tomb until Jesus was resurrected. So with the day of the week finally fixed by Scripture, we can also calculate the exact day of Jesus' death using other data in Scripture. We know Jesus was born about 2 years before Herod died, and he died in 4 BC. Luke tells us Jesus began his ministry at the age of 30, and by counting the number of Passovers in Jesus' ministry, we know it lasted for 3 years. So when we put all that together, we can calculate that Jesus would have had to have died either in AD 27 or 28. Now, since Jesus died on a Thursday, we can consult astronomical tables to see if one of these years had Passover starting on Wednesday night. Remember, it's the full moon after spring equinox. That's when Passover starts for that. And sure enough, in AD 27, Passover began on Wednesday night, April 9th, which means that Jesus would have died the next day, which is April 10th, AD 27. And interestingly enough, we are coming up on the 2000th year anniversary of his death. That would be April 22nd, 2027. And if you're wondering why it's not the 10th, you have to remember that Passover is based on it's a lunar-based calendar, and so that's why it would be the 22nd. All right, well, that's a lot for everybody to digest, I am sure. So we'll wrap up today's pod with that bit of information, and on the next episode we will wrap up our study, and that should lead us up to Easter. So this has worked out very well. Thank you all for listening. I hope that you have learned something from it. I hope it's deepened your faith a little bit, and I hope to connect you a little more to God in Scripture. That is the point after all. If you want to support the show, you can find it on Patreon at Just One Man. You can follow me on Twitter at BrandonTubbs24 or on Instagram at OKestBrandon. Thank you all so much for listening. I do appreciate it, and we will talk to you next week.